Hi, Short.
Hey man.
I was going through the bullet points that we had. I mean, maybe we cut down from the job description over there, and
hmm
I went through them, and they seem like what I am doing at work, except that perhaps it's not as developed as they uh, intended to be on the job description. So, for example, maintaining detailed financial models of all companies under coverage. I'm sure we do maintain, but maybe not detailed financial models. But I do know how to do a financial model now. Uh,
hmm
so,
Right.
and what I learned right now is that accounting, what I learned today is that accounting is a very good skill to have. And
hmm
I intend to somehow, well, I talked with Karishma, told her I wanted some additional or extra work on accounting. And she said, yeah, sure, give me your email. And she'll go back to TTS and look at some files that they have, not publicized, but she'll email me some perhaps coursework or videos regarding accounting information. I wanted to learn more about the core statements and how that comes into play when you build a financial model. Well, I guess everything rotates around these core statements, but I just
hmm
want a better view of the theoretical understanding of these core statements.
Yep.
And I think I'm getting into the sensitive. I'm getting more sensitive to things in the field. I like that, and I feel energetic every day. Like I will feel like I'm enjoying. I would enjoy work more than I enjoy school, and socialing and networking and is it is socialing a word? But
Socializing. Socializing.
socializing with Americans, I think it's better than what I thought it would be like. I'm actually liking the US more than I like China right now, especially how
hmm
we talk to each other and how free it is.
hmm Yeah.
Mm.
That's cool. I'm glad to hear that. Because, there are two things that can help you get the job in terms of putting in the work and the hours that you need to. One is motivation, and motivation is what you're talking about. You're feeling motivated for these reasons. The other is discipline. And
Mm.
it sounds like you've been fairly disciplined, but a lot of times, even Americans, right? People are the same everywhere. They may lack motivation, but as long as they have discipline,
Yeah.
that can help carry them through.
Hmm. I
So
don't.
let's talk about your cover. Let's talk about. I got to run for dinner in a little bit. So, how do you wanna send this resume to Henry? What do you wanna
I don't
say?
quite know what he wants from me. I don't know if I don't know if he's asking me to send it through his work email.
hmm
I think that's gonna leave like our conversation in their in their data bank. But
Not necessarily. It just goes to his email address. It's not like you're officially applying um, online or anything. What makes it easier is that you have Deutsche Bank on your resume, so that's gonna that's gonna make it easier for them to. They're
mhm,
gonna assume. They're gonna assume a lot of things from that,
mhm.
which is good. We want to let them assume a
Yeah.
certain standard. They're only going to know how Deutsche Bank works in the US. They have no idea how these Chinese banks actually work.
But from what I asked around like the classmates and Karishma. Basically, what Karishma said is that once you attend an investment bank, modeling is like so. If your boss really wants to buy a company, they will come up with the final answer and ask you to do the modeling that correlates with this expected either equity PE or EPS, I guess,
hmm
that they finally come up with. Isn't that what you were saying in the Chinese banks? How it's done there?
I wouldn't say, well, but I'm not saying the other extreme, which is that American companies are going to blindly depend on a model.
Hmm.
I never said that.
Okay.
So the way that you can value a company, right, is your feeling, right, for the business. We usually triangulate. So we think about, okay, what are the comparable companies? Like you might be learning about comparable analysis.
Mm-hmm.
So what is the stock market saying in terms of the range of PE? What is the range of PE values for the comparable companies saying? What is the range of valuations that the acquisition data tells us in terms of if we clean up the data on historical acquisitions, right? Those are the acquisition comps, which are different from the public comps. So we got one stream of information, which is the acquisition comps. We got the comparable public comps. We have our model, which is purely theoretical,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then we have the other, backdoor gossip and discussions and intuition of the bankers.
Yeah.
So it's all of that.
Okay.
But we're not saying that the Americans blindly rely on models and the Chinese do not.
Mm-hmm. All right. So as to what's the difference in China? You talked about the US. So I guess working in the Chinese bank, what's the experience there? So you do still have a final answer, but do you still go through what's the difference between don't do public comp, acquire comp or financial modeling?
You would. I think you still would go through that in China.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a different environment. It's like, the markets perform differently. Just think about why, the Chinese stock markets perform differently for different reasons. Like the Chinese stock market performs like it does because, the main asset class in China is real estate, right? It's not securities.
Mm-hmm.
So that alone, for that reason, creates a stock market which has these strange characteristics.
Mm.
And doesn't behave. It doesn't have any correlation with the behavior of the economy. Whereas in the United States, right, most households hold securities as their main asset. It's more driven by economic behavior. It's just a completely different way of valuing.
Yeah.
So the way that's all set up in China being different than the US, naturally you're going to see differences reflected at every level of the market, including how the investment bankers do their work. But a lot of it's going to look similar. Still, you're going to be on Wind in China, checking stock prices and updating documents. That's not going to change. It's just the way it gets used and interpreted will be very different.
Mm-hmm. All right. Okay, I understood. I understand. Going back to the resume, I guess what I want to send him is maybe like a finalized version of what I can get through right now. Would that be?
What I need you to do is when I send you a resume back, you are responsible for making an effort to update it to your best of your ability.
Okay.
Right. This has not changed since we spoke about it yesterday. You've done nothing on it.
Yep.
So there's nothing I can do at this point.
All right. As for the attend external meetings with management teams and other industry professionals, can I modify that to, well, we do attend a lot of Wind online calls, and we, as our securities firm, we actually speak up there, winning findings and future. If we look up, if we say buy or sell for the bonds or securities that's being discussed. Would I say attended like phone call meetings, or what type of meeting should I define that as?
Is it with investors, right?
Yeah, and also yeah,
right.
And also with actually firms that want to issue securities or issue bonds, they call us and we tell them you're missing, and so something that they got wrong. They forgot to publicize something, and then leading them to not being able to issue. That was one phone call, and the others were like we presenting our either buy decision, sell decision, or position for a company. That's on the wind phone calls. Yes, sorry about the resume. I got back. So I received your email yesterday, and then the three guys told me to go out with them. And then basically I asked them a lot about what they do at their work.
Good. No, your time was well spent. I'm just saying, like, in terms of how to move this forward, it's, so external pricing, recognition meetings were supported, that's fine. Updated pricing quotes and
as of pricing quotes, it's like what you said before. We had a issuing price in mind, and I update like safe, what's that rate called? The safety risk when you do the DCF model. There's like a safety range of the 10-year treasury rate. So I update that on the 纪要of our company every day. That's a part of the I guess newspaper or magazine that we come up with inside the company, and we read it, and the colleagues read it. So that would be, I guess, updating treasury, the base point changes of the treasury and 30-year treasury bonds, or and maintaining financial models of all companies. Under coverage here, do you mean by coverage? Do they mean like coverage as in EBITDA divided by interest expense, or coverage who we actually issued bonds for?
The second.
Okay.
Not a coverage ratio. It's just a coverage, meaning the company's covered. So, I mean, this is, I mean, you don't need, you're not going to have 4 bullet points anyway, so you don't need to try to strain too hard to fill up 4 bullet points. You can just delete that and leave it like this. And I don't know if you have something with like research coverage that you helped out. Maybe you just did 2 things, right? And that's also enough, right? You just have it like that, and then that's sufficient.
All right. Okay.
If you have more that you can add that's significant, then fine. But if not, I mean, this is fine right here.
All right. Okay. All right.
So just go ahead and make sure. But what I want to see before you send it is the final PDF version. You don't want to send the Word document. I want to see them send the PDF. So it needs to look right. Like you need to take the, these, for example, these grid lines, for example, and turn them all white.
I understand. I'll do that on my side. As for the 5.59 million, should I write million instead of the big M, or should I write MM instead of big M?
Well, this is actually a volume, cubic meters, right? So I mean, so you could be like, there should be million, and you want to be consistent with your significant digits. You don't need it to be 5.59. Just call it 5.6.
Okay.
And then yes. So go back and just clean this up.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll change it to a PDF, and then I'll post it on Facebook group.
Yeah, that's fine. And then
also, I'm having the 3rd phone call with the LinkedIn connection today at 8 p.m.
It's a 3rd person.
Yeah, this guy interned at Fixed Income consecutively for 3 years, and was in the sales and trading group for the first 2 interns. Right now, not sure if he's still in the sales and trading, but I bet he is. He's actually at which company? Let me see. He's at the Commerce Bank AG, and he's a trading analyst. So I think he stopped doing selling. Would that be correct? He stayed on the trading side of fixed income.
Okay, that works.
All right.
I'll send this file to you as a file in the Facebook group, and then you can download it from there, make any changes, and then send it back to me.
All right.
And in terms of like reaching out to senior people, I mean, I would really, go through the training, this boot camp, and then kind of re-examine that question, because it just doesn't feel like you're really ready to reach out to senior people yet and really convincingly ask for a referral or a meeting yet.
Okay.
I would really, not that you're not smart and not that, but you just need to get a little bit more practice. And the idea of getting this job, right? It's just a matter of you get the job that and at the level of your professionalism, and just getting professional is a period of time. For some people it takes years or they never get it. For some people they can do it very quickly if they follow the right process.
All right.
You can do it very quickly if you follow just by following this process. So just let the process do its own work. You don't actually have to worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to follow the process.
By being more professional, as in preparing the lines to say better, or having a better understanding of the industry.
It's all of that. It's it's understanding the industry. It's understanding what people want. I mean, a big part of that is just understanding what people want. Mm-hmm. And if you're, I mean, you need to. It's fine that you're doing fixed income now, but if you go into a meeting with Henry and say you only want to do fixed income, and he's doing equity derivatives and want to hire you for equity derivatives, right? Mm-hmm. That would be a problem.
Okay.
So understanding, 到什么山唱什么歌，见什么人说什么话. Mm-hmm. Right? Just being aware of what everyone's doing in your environment as well as part of that package too.
Yeah.
So it's not, I mean, professionalism, yeah, it's about the way you speak, it's what you say, it's what you don't say, right? Mm-hmm. There's all of that. And they're just also being sensitive to what people are trying to achieve. Understanding that there's a process. So Henry's going to have a process that he might put you into, mm-hmm. Understanding how that process works, right?
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Cool, man.
Yeah, I won't keep you longer. Have a good dinner. Have a good night, I guess.
Thanks, man. Yeah, if you have any questions, just let me know.
All right.
I'll look at your document as soon as you send it back to me.
All right.
Awesome. All right. See you later.